Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing?
Yo,
Hey Griff.
What up? You guys just can't get enough of me, huh?
Nope.
apparently.
That's how it goes.
Essentially, Griff, tell us like something about you. For the people that don't know who you are, tell us who you are.
Just like something personal or
No, just like
just
like what do you
like,
do? Like ATM business guy, the
okay,
Yeah,
ATM go.
just a little introduction, like that type of
Yeah.
thing.
okay. Well, as you guys know, my name is Griff, and I currently make over $150,000 every single month from an empire of ATMs that I built from the ground up in my college dorm. I started off from one machine. I worked as a server. I was a tropical smoothie cafe manager, and I ended up being able to save up just enough to afford my first ATM. And years before that, I worked under a mentor for 2 or 3 years completely free and learned this business inside and out. And eventually I was able to, like I said, buy this machine, load it with a little bit of money in a rinky-dink pizza shop. And from there, I just reinvested everything I made and eventually got it to the point where I'm at now, where I have the business on autopilot and I can sleep till noon every single day and enjoy the benefits of my sacrifices, sacrificing high school, sacrificing college. And yeah.
Bet.
See, so ATM was like your main income source, you would say.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
yeah, gotcha.
100%.
And you
And I
have
mean,
your hands,
obviously, sorry,
yeah,
excuse
you
me.
say. No, you
I
go
had
for it.
I had a couple more side hustles. I had a few drop shipping stores. I did some Printify stuff. Obviously, I made a little bit of money on TikTok. But for the majority of my time, especially when the ATMs were first kicking off, that was the main income I was getting.
Yeah, that's fair. And you were
Gotcha.
mainly on TikTok as well, like Connor, obviously before. Like now it's a little bit different. It's like TikTok, but then also like 140K or something on like Instagram. So
Yeah, so on TikTok, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they didn't pay at all.
mm,
And then they introduced the creator fund where they paid you, they didn't even have a specified amount in which they paid you. You just basically got paid randomly for views. And from the views, I would probably pull in like 2 million views a week, and I would only get paid like 150 bucks for the
damn.
month. So it's really bad. But now I'm pulling in similar numbers and I'm making like 1,500. That's not a lot when you compare it to like these other platforms like YouTube and Snapchat,
Yeah.
those types of
Mm.
views on those other platforms, you can make upwards of 15, even $30,000. Hopefully gonna make a transition to YouTube here. I got something cooking for the YouTube here in the next couple weeks or so. So hopefully I can make that transition soon. But as far as right now, that's what I'm working with.
Yeah. I know Goresh has got like a bunch of stuff planned
Yeah.
to try and basically like just like help you out with like
With
YouTube
the YouTube as well.
ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because people are like finally starting to recognize you on YouTube as well. And all the videos like performing much better than what it was before. So I have some ideas for you as well written down to make some casual, YouTube like raw videos, kind of like
Legendary.
vlogs. Yeah, but it just like converts like crazy. Like any vlog,
Yeah.
even 2 days, just converts like in insane numbers. So it'll be good. It'll be good.
For
That
sure. For
should be
sure.
awesome. And then
And you said,
oh
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, so you said you have your hands in over 150 ATMs at the moment?
Yeah, it's teetering up to 200. Probably I'll reach 200 here in the next couple weeks or so. But ultimately, the goal is to hit that 250 mark. That's where a lot of my colleagues in the business, a lot of the people I know, a lot of people that I've met in my experience, they say that's like the sweet spot in your business. If you have about 250, maybe even 275 machines run for you at once, if especially if it's on autopilot, you really don't have to do anything anymore. Obviously, you have to run the logistics of your business in the back end and make sure your guys are on top of everything. But if you have your guys doing most of the work, at that point, that's where you'll really be able to take a step back.
Mhm. No, I bet.
See.
And
And
just as like a general thing, so obviously we reached out to you probably like how long ago was it? Like a couple months or something now.
6, 7 months
Yeah,
ago?
yeah, about 6 months.
And
Yeah.
at that time, I mean you were still pretty decent like on TikTok and like everything, like it was still going well, but just like in that time from 6 months ago until now, like I'm pretty it's been pretty awesome. Like just seeing you grow like so much. We're on like
Hmm.
400 and something K on TikTok now. Obviously,
Yeah.
like Instagram's gone up to 140,000 from like 30,000. And
Yeah.
that was only like the last
Yeah.
month as well, just popping off.
Mm.
And then obviously the other thing is just like monetizing it so much better as well. Like really
Hmm.
being able to like help you out the best we can. And I think that was like the biggest thing for Gresh and I when we wanted to start working with you is because like just generally with how we like to conduct business, it's more so about providing as much value as like humanly possible, which is why we don't usually like do a lot of upfront fees because it's kind of unless it's like a build and release sort of thing where we just like build something for a creator and then like piss off afterwards. This is more so like if we're actually working with them, like I kind of feel bad about being paid anything if I haven't
Hmm.
actually given you,
Any
double
value.
or
Yeah.
4 times the amount of money that I'm receiving in the back end. So, like, do you want to just talk a little bit, Griff, about sort of what we were able to do recently for the high ticket, but also just like, kind of helping you a little bit with the back end system,
Sure.
like school and all
Sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. I mean, like you said, my Instagram was at like 30K when we first started working together, and
Mm,
now it's at like 150K.
mm.
And especially on TikTok, I think we started off when I was at like 250K, and now we're moving up
168.
to 168.
168.
Okay, now we're
Yeah,
moving up to
168.
almost 500,000 followers. I mean, that's absolutely bonkers. And the hardest thing for me was actually building those sales pages and actually getting those funnels in these sales funnels functional. That was the hardest part for me. And I mean, that day one, you guys were like, all right, we're building sales funnels. This is how we're going to monetize. We're going to re-upload all of your TikToks on Instagram for you. We're going to run your DMs. And I mean, that obviously has been the biggest key. And with the high ticket thing, really with that, yeah, I close things on the back end, but I mean, 99% of the job, you guys are getting those leads, qualified leads, mind you. You're not just getting morons who want to invest $100 into this business. You're getting people who actually have money at my doorstep. Like all I have to do is get on the phone with these guys for 10 minutes and
Yeah.
we have 2,500, even $5,000 clients almost immediately. So that's been a huge key in my business and the honestly the biggest reason why we've exploded here in the last couple months.
No, 100%. I think like the qualification, just like touching on what you just said, the qualification process is so overlooked. I think people are so, especially with high ticket offers, they're so focused on like, oh, I have to have like a really good sales team and I need to have like the best
Yeah.
closers around. But like they forget the fact that, okay, if you actually qualify the leads so much so that when you hop on a call with them, it's literally just like, okay, yes or no. And they'll say yes if they've got
Hmm.
to that stage
Yep.
opposed to having to go through like this whole sales script of like, being really corny and like saying, what are your pain points? Like all of this stuff. Because
Yeah.
we already know what they all are before they even hop on the call. Like the person has such an extensive, like, and thorough qualifying period before they even get on a call with you that by the time they're on the call, it's literally just like, yo, man, like, exactly what we're offering. You know how much it is. You know what you'll get as soon as you join. Like, is it a yes or no? And
Right.
like, I'd say 70, 80% of the time, it's literally just like, yeah, okay, let's go. Sometimes I'll ask questions. Some like you'll get like the occasional person who just shouldn't have been in the funnel anyway, and it's just like a time waster. But
Yeah.
most of the time, it's literally just like, yeah, let's do it, bro. And then
For sure. Yeah, and like I said, that's the biggest key on why we've been able to pull in, what was it, $35,000 over the last
close to that.
when
In
we first
June,
opened
yeah.
it up, it was like 2.5 weeks. Like that's mad,
Mm.
so
Crazy. Is there anything else, Garesh? What else did you want to touch
I
on?
mean, yeah, like that was a high ticket offer basically. So we can give them a bit of a briefing about what the actual offer was.
Hmm.
Like, so we basically had it called ATM Masterclass, right?
Yeah.
And we like, because Connor, you know exactly how to run an ATM business. You started with the one machine and now you have over like 150 machines, right? That means you know how to start a business for anybody. So now it was like an opportunity to teach your audience on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram on how to start their own business, right? Which is why we started ATM Masterclass. And so we priced it at what, 2,500?
Yeah.
yep, 2,500. And for reference, when I used to do this and it was all 100% by myself,
Mm.
And I would literally just have people fill out a Google form. And I think within like 2 weeks or so, I got like 2,000 people
Mm.
respond. And what I would do is I would go through every single one of those leads and I would cold call them individually, and maybe close less than 1% of them. And 90% of the time when I called these guys, they didn't have the money or they did have the money and I didn't account for hidden expenses. So I mean, I charged these guys $1,000. Yeah, that sounded good, but then I didn't account for the fees coming in. I didn't account for how much these leads were actually going to cost me since I'm doing it all myself, and really how much the time takes. Like in the beginning, I didn't
Yeah.
have this team that I was able to actually do these things for me. So it was really just me trading my time for a little bit of profit at the end of the day. Um, and yeah, that was the biggest learning point is actually understanding how much value we're giving people, and having a price and having a service that reflects that.
No, 100.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference taking time. I mean, giving you your time back and taking that upon ourselves because you have much bigger things to worry about and we can handle, qualifying all these leads and everything because it's easy, as you said, to get 2,000 leads, right? But if the closing rate is 1%, it kind of explains that the leads were just like
Hmm.
brokies basically, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, the entire process was just like much more efficient when we just made the qualifying process like nice and simple. We
yeah,
did all the cold messages, the reminders before every call booked in,
Yeah, the workflow.
manually and I think automations as well on
Yeah.
Calendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of made sure that they actually show up and they're actually qualified.
Yeah.
100%.
I think something as well that like Gresh and I just try and really like focus in on is just delegating tasks. Like I think most of the time if you're working with, like a creator or someone like you, with like in terms of like really maximizing the amount of time spent and the amount of profits you can get, it should really just be about, okay, you're amazing at like content and running like the business that you've been running for, 8, 7 years, whatever. So you should just be doing that. Like you shouldn't have to focus on other stuff, which is where like Gresh and I come in because we, you know, like maybe we do a little bit of content on the side, whatever. But our main thing is just actually like doing sales funnels, creating offers, making high ticket offers, like qualifications, all of that stuff. So it's so much easier to just have people to do that for you, like literally just focus 100% of the time on that exact thing that you don't want to do so that you
Hmm.
don't even have to like have any thoughts in your brain about like, oh, well, are they qualified enough? Or like, oh, I should
Right.
fix the funnel or I should do this, I should do that. And at the same time, like Goresh and I don't have to worry about like, oh, have I uploaded, a video for today, or have I done this? Have I done
Right.
that? Like it's just so much easier
Yeah.
to delegate those tasks and like
Hmm.
focus 100% on the thing that you're like really, really good at. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, that's been the key. Definition of working smarter, not harder.
yeah,
You could sit down for 6.5 hours and call 2,000 people and convert a $1,500, $1,500. Woo, yeah, whatever. I got $1,500.
mm,
You spread that over 6 hours, and also you spread that over how much time I'm dedicating to these clients. I mean, it's peanuts at that point. So you guys
Yeah.
really being able to hone in, especially those tedious tasks, it's made a world of difference.
yeah. I think it's just like a big selling point on like our sort of services, like not to like toot our own horn as well, Goresh, but it's like literally just
Mm.
doing stuff. I think our whole business model is basically just based around doing stuff that like the creator doesn't like to do, like just doing
Mm.
hard stuff that other people
Yeah.
don't really want to do, but doing it very well. And at this point, like I'd say personally, I probably could speak on behalf of you as well, Gresh, that like we're very passionate about like sales
Yeah.
funnels and making good offers because yeah, like the money's great and we get to like, run up a decent amount of cash, but like we could have easily just done some sort of high ticket offer with no actual value being provided. And we could have ran it up like that. We could have had zero scarcity. We could have had like letting in, 250 people, whatever, and not cared about the results that we get them, anything like that. But we chose to purposely do like letting only 10 people in or only having
Hmm.
like super qualified people. There were people in there that we probably could have let in or like, just talked
Yeah.
to them a little bit and then said like, okay, man, like you could actually join. And they would have spent the 2,500, but they would have just been crappy leads. Like
Hmm.
they wouldn't have been good for the program. We wouldn't have actually been able to help
Yeah.
them. So the fact that we refused those people and just focused 100% on actually getting like results for the people who end up buying is so good, not only for future like high ticket offers that we release, once this one sort of died down a little bit, but also just for your brand, Connor. Like it's literally just making sure that people actually respect you as like a brand owner and someone who sells like these sort of high ticket things and not someone who's like, a scammer or whatever. Like
Mhm.
that was the biggest thing. Just making sure that you've got like a respectable
Of
brand and
course.
like, building on that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you really think about it, if we open this thing up and accepted 250 people, I mean, if you
Yeah.
do the math on that, that's $250,000.
Yeah.
But I mean, the most respect I have for you guys is no, we're only letting 10 people in. We want to give these 10 people results. If everything goes good, we're going to open this thing back up and do the same thing, rather lather, rinse, and repeat, if you could say, and actually give people results and actually give people an opportunity to spend more time with their family, gain financial stability, and maybe even just take their family out to dinner, take them on a vacation once a year. That sort of stuff is what I
Yeah.
think really sets us apart and what you guys do apart for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you make it very clear that, of course you can have that insane life of, living in the hills, having a, a Lamborghini, Ferrari, and all these other things. But it's like most people, they just want to live a relatively comfortable life, right?
Hmm.
They want all the nice shit, but they just want to be more comfortable than what they are today. So as you said, it's just like a work-life balance thing.
Hmm.
It's not so much about the huge like exuberant things.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That makes you more rich than anything else. Like being able to go home early on a Thursday and have a barbecue with your family. I mean, those type of people who have that luxury in life, I don't care what you say, they're more rich than anybody with a Lamborghini or anybody with a like you said, $50 million house in Beverly Hills. Um, Being able to have that work-life balance and have financial stability, that state of mind, that peace of mind, that you really don't have to work 80 hours a week just to still live paycheck to paycheck. At that point, you're richer than anybody else with a Lambo.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, was that pretty much touched on like most of the stuff we wanted to, Grish? That's pretty much.
Yeah, for the high ticket, that's pretty much the entire runner for the high ticket. Let's go back in time to what, the inner circle, outer circle?
Inner
Hmm.
circle, yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, like 100%. We like sort of ran up the low ticket community starting off.
Start, yeah.
I think the main reason why that went so well starting off is because just the sheer amount of like effort we were putting into it. Like, obviously Griff was making loads of posts on TikTok, like engaging in the community. We were in there like helping people out, engaging in the community as well, like making posts, that sort of thing, just like cultivating it a lot. And I think it's like a very clear sign that when we sort of shifted our attention from the inner circle over to a high ticket, like there was a little bit of a drop in numbers, but I think now that we've sort of, done with the high ticket and we're focusing more on low ticket things, it's going to see a lot more of like a revival afterwards. Like,
100%.
yeah, it's just about putting effort into it. Like if we put effort
Yeah,
into the thing, it'll go back. So
100%. And that's just naturally with anything. Obviously, if you switch your I mean, what we were doing with this high ticket, it took a lot of work. And
yeah.
naturally with that, it's going to take away from some of the things we were doing before.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's all about effort and it's all about persistence. So once we go full swing back into the inner circle,
Yeah.
I have no doubt we're going to be at that meeting with Alex Hermosi.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because like yeah, I'm currently rebranding the inner circle to, make it a bit more appealing, look a
Hmm.
bit more elite. But yeah, I think the biggest thing, the biggest obstacle we had was the churn rate.
Mm.
Like, and I feel like that's just the issue that you have with any community on a monthly payment. If
Yeah.
you have it at $1 or even $100, $1,000 a month, you're gonna have the exact same issue, churn rate. So there's not too much you can do about it apart from, introduce a high ticket offer, but you can try to just attract the right people. Because if you attract the very poor people that literally live like paycheck to paycheck and have nothing at the end of the week, it's like they're gonna leave the next month. And
Right.
a lot of the time, they get so overwhelmed with everything inside the community, which is why you have to just be a bit more like warm and welcoming to them, to the
Mm.
new members.
Right.
So that's what
Absolutely.
we kind of experienced. I think we all agree on that. Churn rate was a bit bit of a hit.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, and like you were saying with that, just having attracting those sort of honestly, some of the people who came in, they said like, "Hey, Griff, that was my last 20, so like
yeah,
that was my last $27 in my account." So
yeah,
I mean, not trying to insult those people or anything. Um, but obviously when we're sort of switching now where when we attract people into this community, we want to have it to where they're in a good financial situation where they
yeah,
can even invest in one of these businesses within the first couple of weeks of joining the community. Because obviously, if you join the community and it was your last $27, you're not really going to have much like to make money, you have to spend money, unfortunately. So whether
yeah,
it be through Printify, through TikTok Shop, excuse me, you have to buy ads, you have to get Printify Premium. Even with ATMs, it's a huge, I wouldn't say huge, but it's a relatively large startup cost that most of the people in there, they realize they needed that sort of money, but they're like, oh shit, I mean, I've $2 in my bank account now.
yeah,
So maybe a lot of the things that we had in there for those people, it was a little bit intimidating for them.
mm,
So maybe that's why they were churning out at a high rate.
yeah,
But now since we made that transition where the people who are going to be joining are going to be in a better financial situation,
mm,
they're going to be super, super motivated. They're actually going to have the capital to start businesses like this.
mm.
I don't foresee the churn rate being a long-term problem.
Yeah, and we've literally seen that already. Like we've already had a bunch of people join back so
Yeah.
far, and they've all been qualified. Like none
Yeah,
of them so far have joined and been like, "Hey, like like bugging you 24/7 or doing it
hmm
like that." They've just been genuinely, decent leads. And I think a large aspect of why that is because we're doing like daily value posts, like consistently just in there helping out as much as we possibly can. So
for
yeah,
sure.
we see a big turnaround for
Yeah.
sure. All right,
And then
well,
of course, I
uh,
mean, we also like tried a free community, right? As like a little funnel,
yeah, yeah. I mean, the
which
main issue with that one was basically similar to what the issue with the like inner circle was, and it was just the caliber of people who were
Mhm.
involved in the community. Like we had a decent amount of people in there who genuinely were really interested in the value being provided and were high level people who wanted to like utilize all of the information inside the community. However, when you open something like a free community, the barrier to entry is literally zero. So
Yep.
anyone can join, and that kind of instigates, some like people joining who are just time wasters or
hmm
just
scammers,
yeah, just
yeah,
yeah, like low level sort of
Yeah.
people who aren't interested in
Bots too.
yeah, true, true.
yeah.
So.
I think we need like a bigger team if we were to introduce a free community because it is a nice
hmm
funnel to have, but you just need more people to manage it.
Yeah,
Essentially
Right.
24/7, right? Like
yeah,
if we go to sleep and like a scammer hops in like overnight and one person gets scammed, it's like we're done for it, right?
yeah,
Right,
So
and that's not a reflection on them. That makes us look bad.
yeah,
Like, oh,
literally,
yeah,
this guy from Griff's community scammed me for $1,000. Like,
yeah,
all
we're
right,
liable for it.
now
Yeah,
I have to make it right with this dude, you know? And then there's outcry from social media. So this is a very public relations type business we're in. So
mm,
stuff like that, like you said, we would need to really, really be on top of things. But obviously, with it just being us three, there are limitations on that. But certainly in the future, if we get a team of 20, 30, maybe even 40 people eventually, that's something we can definitely do.
100%, yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on, Gresh, or that's pretty
that's
much it?
pretty much all the points we should have covered. But do you have anything else, Jack?
No, no, I think it's just like
That's
it's
pretty
it's
much
been
it.
really good, man. Like my always biggest thing that I always like my North Star that sort of guides me with every decision that I make in terms of like the business. And I think I can say the same for Goresh is like literally just
Yeah,
provide as much value as possible, like to the creator as humanly possible. And if you just keep doing that, like there's no reason why we can't just continually be successful again and again and again. Because if it's not like, oh, I want to make a bunch of money, or I want to just get a bunch of notoriety and like get famous
hmm
to different people. If it's just doing your job and doing it very well and providing as much value as possible to the creator, then there's literally no
yeah,
reason why you wouldn't see success. Might
For
be over
sure.
a certain time period, but like the fact still remains. It's literally just provide as much value as humanly possible. again and again and again, and don't stop providing value essentially. So
For sure. And
Absolutely.
usually I like to live by the quote. I had to look up his name here. He's the founder of Patron. I'm sure you guys know the
yeah, yeah,
tequila.
Yeah.
John Paul Jones DeJoria, excuse me if I mess that up. But he says that you need to not be in the order business, you need to be in the reorder business,
mm,
meaning that the product that you're actually selling, it needs to be good, it needs to provide value to your customers. Because if you get 100,000 people ordering your product once, sure, that's all well and good. But
yeah,
imagine if you have 100,000 people ordering your product every single week.
yeah,
That's the key, having a product that people actually like and people are going to come back and use. So hopefully with this ATM masterclass, some of these people
Yeah.
that are already in here, they'll come back to us with other machines.
mm,
They'll refer their friends.
mm,
So yeah,
More
that's the
locations.
that's
Yeah.
100% more locations,
Yeah.
anything they need. So if since we got the value part of this masterclass down, it's just a matter of getting these guys results.
100%.
Absolutely. And I think it's only a matter of time until we actually hit our first 100K month because I think we're pretty
Hmm.
close. I
Yeah,
think our next offer launch could be pretty close to 100K.
yeah.
So
We
it's
just need to
just
get
a
the right
matter of time.
systems. Yeah,
Yeah,
the right systems
exactly.
in
Because
place.
we
Right.
know what to do now. Like we know
Yeah,
exactly what works, how to like just
Hmm.
avoid the time wasters and all that. So hopefully we can also meet at the end of this year. Maybe you
yeah.
come into Australia.
You know it. I need to go to
Yeah.
Sydney. I've always wanted to go. And 100K in a month. I mean, we're all under, you guys are under 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 19. Yeah.
I'm 20.
19,
Yeah.
20. I'm 22. So I mean, the fact that we're sitting here having this conversation, how we're gonna pull in $100,000 in a single month. Some people don't even make that in 3 years, you know. So the fact that we're so young, even talking about this and that it's a genuine reality, it really, really just shows the things we can do. Really does.